Here we have two lists, our information in blue and their information in orange. They could be a bank statement, a customer, a supplier, another of our systems, or a different module in the same system. We go down to the bottom of the lists and find the totals, which are similar but not the same. And the difference, in fact, is just over 10,000. For comparing two columns, we choose a Sotosio tool with T at the front. So TCZ 2 columns to 0. And so we copy in the values, copy from there, paste here, do the same with the other column. And then we don't need to include narrative information, but it does tend to make the results more useful. So we copy that in there and that in there. We then click on Next. And so what it's done is, in this first section, matched off those items which are pairs within each column. Those are usually reversals. And in the next section, it has matched off pairs across the two columns. The labels are shown, so you can say, oh, that's Alice Odebel and that's Alice. So yes, those do match off. But what we're really interested in is these items up the top. So these are items which don't pair off, but the question is, do they match off in larger groupings? So we click on Calculate, and it usually takes about 10 seconds for the result to come back. When it does, we click, and the result shows that these 6 items in column B match with 2 or 3 items each from column A. The labels appear in the output, so you can see here 1 Grobich matches with 3 Grobiches, so that suggests that they are indeed related to each other. Over here on the right, we have a column which doesn't seem to match that pattern. So this is an example of a coincidental match. The numbers just happen to be such that you can get these two totals which are equal, but it has no significance. In this example, it's pretty clear. You can just look at that and say, right, well, those are the 6 answers that are meaningful. In other cases, the answer doesn't jump out so quickly. So there are some tips in the help pages, but the main message is to match off the amounts that do definitely sum to 0 and see what you're left with. As your list gets shorter, the picture tends to become clearer. So this is an example of the fact that Sotosio is a tool to help you work faster, not something that's going to replace you. It definitely has no artificial intelligence. Now, the open items are those which are not included in these 6 lists. So we have these 3 up the top here and this one at the bottom. To do a numerical check, we can go back to the list of the submissions and open up the relevant CSV file. So here we have the CSV file. We apply some consistent formatting, and the open items we said were these 3 at the top and this one here. So we'll see that in the 6 solutions which we think are meaningful, there are no values present. So we can calculate the sum of these 2 columns here and the difference between them, which is indeed the same number that was the difference between the totals of the source data.